Assalamu alaikum everyone, Huzafa here from BITFX, and today is 3rd of July and we'll be doing a weekly outlook for this week for the 3 to 4 pairs. Let's start off with Euro USD on the daily time frame. As we have seen in the last week's outlook, Euro USD is close to the all-time lows, which is a highly liquid area, and you can see it's creating some sort of trendline liquidity as well. Right here, if you see, trendline liquidity is being created as well on Euro USD. Trendline liquidity plus this all-time low liquidity is a strong indication for market to sell off into this areas. It can be a strong motive for the sellers to get in and sweep all of this liquidity out. But again, right now it depends. Market could continue up and create even further more liquidity, or it could cross these highs and these highs. Once these highs are crossed, we could see the externally market would shift to bullish momentum. So Euro USD would become bullish after this break of structure. But seeing Euro USD as of right now, I don't really think market could go bearish. There is a slight chance where market can go bullish, but most probably we will see market going bearish, taking out all these liquidity, trendline liquidities, and this all-time low as well. This is the all-time low for the Euro USD pair, so it's a strong point as well. We will see some sort of support from these zones, but then again, as it's the all-time low, so it's a strong support area for the retailers as well. But nonetheless, we will be seeing some sell-offs in the future. So my bias for this week on Euro USD is for sells, but most probably seeing this reaction. So this is the long-term bias for Euro USD sells, unless until the high is broken. But when we're going to 4 hours, let's have a look at 4 hours. 4 hours, we reacted off this area of demand right here. Right now, potentially we could see some sort of movement from this zone as well, or if we manage to break above this. So if we have a break of structure right here, so if we do this break of structure, we could potentially look for some short buys up till these zones right here. So these, let's say, equal highs sort of things, this trend line, we could see buys clearing up this and tapping into this zone, which we had marked in our previous weekly outlook. So this is one possibility on 4 hours, which we could see either sell off from this red zone and take out all of these lows, either break this high and then come back down into back to this liquidity void and then continue up, clearing out all these highs. So these two possibilities are there for Euro USD. Obviously, as soon as we see any sort of break of structures or any sort of market reaching our swing points or areas of interests, we will be looking at 5-minute time frame for extra confirmations, which we have our BITFX strategy for. So I'll be following that, and yeah, this should be a clean one for this week. Alright, so moving on to Gbpusd. As we can see from the previous weekly outlook, we had marked this strong area of demand for the buys from this order block on the daily time frame. We can see a strong demand right here, and externally, according to this demand, we are bullish from here. But then again, we had a reaction from this supply zone, which could push the market further down. This is a long-term area for demand, which surely will see some reaction of. Right, so let's go on to the lower time frames. Let's say 4-hour time frame. On 4-hour time frame, we saw market creating lower lows from here, aggressive push down, and then market broke one structure, which is a strong structure, and this weaker structure right here, DWS, came down and it reacted off this area of demand right here. Right, so this area of demand played and market reacted off from here. Now what we can see is Gbpusd could potentially continue bullish up till these zones. As we know, externally Gbpusd is bearish right here. So externally we are in a downtrend. Right here we had a fake out, so this was a fake out right here, which induced the buyers. So people were thinking to buy right here at this point, but then it took out their stop losses, right? So now it makes us externally bearish. So most probably the market is going to continue back up to this POI right here, as this was the major inducement area of supply, and then potentially we would see a reaction towards the downside to this demand area right here. And in these areas obviously we'll be looking for lower time frame confirmations as well. Market could do another thing, which would be reacting off this area right here, which is another POI for us. That is another swing point right here. So each swing point, so now this swing point is a POI for us on a higher time frame. So as we go on a lower time frame, and let's say as the market opens, it goes up and takes out this Asian high and then gives us a 5-minute entry criteria. So once that's done, we could take a sell and continue lower as well. So we could sell off the market from here as well. So right here we could take sells all the way down. So there are these possibilities for GBPUSD. Moving on to the Nzdusd pair, we can see that this week it reacted off this imbalance right here. So if we zoom in to the imbalance, this was the imbalance right here which market reacted off this week, which is a daily imbalance, right? So this area of supply demand which market reacted off, it's not completely reacted off, but as we can see, this daily candle is a rejection candle on the daily time frame, which means most probably the next few candles could be, next candle could be a retracement candle towards down, and then it would continue towards the upside, towards where this is one of our POIs. Again, same thing as GBPUSD, this is the inducement for buyers right here. So it took out the sellers right here, then the people who were buying right here took out the buyers as well. According to our knowledge, we know that whenever there's a battle between buyers and sellers, whoever gets taken out first wins. So right here in this time, the sellers were taken out first, alright, and then the buyers. So most probably the market is gonna go in the favor of the sellers. So one of our POI being this zone right here, another one of our POI being this area right here. So this is a strong order block as well. It's a really strong candle. As you can see, there's this order block right here, and then there's a big imbalance right here as well on this area, which is unmitigated right here. So the order block is unmitigated and the imbalance is unmitigated. So this is a strong area for us to look for sells as well. So these two POIs would be really nice for us to look for sells from, the top POI and this lower POI. And then for the buys, we could see something like, let's say on 4-hour time frame, maybe break this high. Okay, so on 4-hour potentially break this high, come back down into this zone for buys. So this could be one of our setups as well. So market going back up into this zone, we take the sells from this zone, come back down into this order block, go back above to this this area right here, and then from here we can continue down. So this could be one potential big move for this week ahead. Next thing which could happen is market could even react off from this order block right here. So these all are the POIs for us for this week for NZDUSD. POI 1, POI 2, POI 3, these are the POIs for the sells, and this is another POI for the buys. Even if market does not do a break of structure and the market comes down into this order block area, we could potentially buy from here, given that all our lower time frame confirmations are being met, everything is perfect. We could see some buys from here as well. Alright, looking at Usdcad, we can see market had dropped down from here, doing a break of structure on 4-hour time frames and turning externally bearish, respecting of this area of supply right here. We can now see potentially market moving back down, and as we know, we had this minor break of structure right here, which means we could potentially keep going upwards. Alright, so on the daily time frame, we are still externally bullish on USDcad, still externally bullish. So we expected a reaction from this order block, we got a reaction from this order block. We'll be looking for sells again on this week for USDcad. So USDcad this week, my bias is gonna be for sells mainly. Sells all the way down, unfilled imbalances, these all will be our TPs, TP1, 2, 3, all these are gonna be our TPs for the sells. And then once market reaches to this POI, we'll start looking for reversal buys. Obviously anything we take either a sell or a buy, we need 5-minute time frame confirmations. Alright, 5 to 15-minute time frame confirmations. So USDcad, there's nothing much to see. We're gonna look for sells on this pair. What I would like to see is market coming down, breaking this structure again, and then market retracing back. So market coming down, breaking these structures, coming back, retracing, and then dropping down. This would be a very nice trade. And even better thing would be, either than just breaking one structure, it breaks all three of them. So once it does this, all three of the structures are broken, it's a more confirmatory sells for us. So we can take the sells right here as well. Okay, so USDcad, these are the possibilities. We could see another push up, maybe to clear out the last week's high. So we could see something like, let's say, another swing high. So instead of breaking this low, market could react off here and then make another swing high. So if you guys are wanting to do that, take a smaller risk, we could potentially look for buys from here. Again, depending on the lower time frame confirmations, we could see some buys from here as well, if market decides to create other higher high, given that this is the week's stop. So this is the week's high right here. So potentially it holds a lot of liquidity. So if market wants to break the week's high, it could be done. So there is another chance market would go make another higher high and then potentially drop. Okay, so this is our main bias for USDcad as well. Index. That's all for the today's weekly outlook. Hope you guys are getting some things out of these videos, and make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next week. Keep smashing the pips, the risk to rewards, stay risk managed, and good luck.
Things that you ain't never seen. If you really don't want, you getting new saline. Anything you want. York said he want your life, but we all know he won't. We got some problems, but it ain't nothing we can solve. Everyone looking and they all love getting involved.